So when you met with the Texans, what's the meeting like? Do you get there very early, and what were some of the things that they have you do?
Yeah, you get there generally early. They just have you meet the entire staff, whether it be scouting, management, coaches, everything like that. So you meet everybody, and they try to get to know you, and you try to get to know them, and so it's a very fun process.
What was the feeling like that you came away and when you're talking to, say, a D'Amico Ryans or a Cole Popovich or a Nick Caserio and guys like that?
Yeah, we were just talking football, and I love to do that the most. So it was great conversations, talking ball, and then I'm just hoping for the best.
Best game that you're really proud of from this past season, or just your entire career? A couple that jump out to you and playing against a tough opponent.
I mean, I'd say the entire playoff run that we did. All 4 of those games, we went against very high-ranked defenses, and for me personally, I went against some very good defenders on the other side of the ball. So, I'm very proud as not only myself but us as a unit, how we execute on the field during those stretch.
Anyone that meets you, Donovan, can tell you're a gentleman. You're a really nice guy. How do you kind of change on the field? I know you're a good, sportsmanship and all that stuff, but obviously there's an intensity. Do you change a little bit when you play football?
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to, especially offensive line. You gotta have a little bit of that edge to you. So offensive linemen you have to be smart. You got to know different fronts, different ID systems, everything like that. But when the ball snaps, you got to be able to run off the ball, and you got to be able to run through somebody.
When you think about playing for your hometown team, if that should happen, obviously no one knows what's going to happen, but how much would that be gratifying if that was to happen?
Yeah, no one knows on draft day until the phone's rung. So, I mean, it'll be a dream come true, but I'm looking forward to getting drafted by anybody.
You have a cheat meal? I know it looks like you're eating healthy. I know you're talking about your body fat percentage and making sure that you have clean fuel, but if you were going to have something that's not so healthy, what would it be?
If I have something that's not so healthy, I mean, I love brownies. I really love brownies. So I try to stay away from them. When I came in, my mom tried to you want me to make some? I was like, no, I can't. I gotta keep it clean for now.
Do you cook?
I mean, I'm not incompetent in the kitchen. Nothing too crazy.
The influence of your parents, and what do your parents do, and their names, and kind of what has been the mentoring that they've given you?
Yeah, my mom, who recently just retired, she was a 5th grade math teacher for, I believe, 25 years. Her name's Melanie Jackson, and my dad, his name's Todd Jackson. He's a marketing director for Motiva. This is a oil and gas company. Mm-hmm.
And the example they said, obviously they worked very hard, and like you were saying to Ari, they poured a lot into you just to support your dreams.
Yeah, no, they poured a lot into me, trying to give me the best opportunity to be successful on the field and also off of it. Whether it be private workouts, different coaching to give myself a little bit of an edge. They were 100% in and trying to allow me to live out my dreams. So I really appreciate them for that.
And shout out to BME. How was the work today?
Yeah, shout out to BME. The work today was good. They have this great facility. Everything you need to get active, to get your blood moving. So shout out to them.
People should join up.
Yeah, join up to BME.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know the menu for whatever the draft get together? I don't know if you want to call it a party or whatever when you're hanging out with family.
I don't know it yet. Stuff's in the works, but we'll see.
All right.
Man, I'll say my versatility. Not just as a player, but as schematically as well. I played guard and tackle at Ohio State at a very high level, but also I played many different schemes, whether it be duo, inside zone, mid zone, stretch, outside zone, gap scheme. I've done it all at Ohio State. They set me up for success at the next level. So, on film, I've done everything schematically that you could throw at me. So I feel like that kind of sets me apart because I've done the schemes that all these teams run.
You can fit into these schemes, but also a big part of it is as you learn meeting with all these people, how do you fit into the locker room?
Yeah, the locker room's really important. Every team you go to, some teams might differ, but the one thing they have in common is you got to take care of the locker room. If the team's together, then they'll play together. So I feel like I'll be a great addition to any locker room that drafts me.
Texans need an offensive lineman. You're local. Why should the Texans pick you?
Man, it'll be a blessing to go anywhere because I can't really say anything because I'm currently unemployed and I need a job. But growing up 30 minutes from that stadium, it'd be a blessing to go there. But really, I'm grateful for any team that'll draft me.
You blocked for CJ Stroud in college. What are your takeaways from what he's done at the NFL level, and what was he like to you when you guys played together?
Man, he's done exactly what he did in college, and he led. He's a natural-born leader, and he's a ball player. everyone knows that he's his mind is cerebral, and he's able to, have the physical ability to do whatever he wants on the field. And he taught me a lot in college. My first year was his junior year, I believe. Yeah, his junior year. And going into my first game, obviously you can't help but be nervous. But he pulled me aside. He's like, "Look, man, like this is the exact same game you've been playing since you were 6. Now there's just a little more people watching. Like, just go play the game you love." And so that kind of helped fix my mentality in the moment of this moment. This moment isn't bigger than what I am. Like, it's just football.
What did you learn at Episcopal that has helped you set you up at this level?
Episcopal set me up with their state-of-the-art facilities. All the amenities and coaching they have to set me up for the next level. Walking into a college weight room, I wasn't behind because I have an amazing strengths program at Episcopal. In fact, I came in already ahead of schedule. So they set me up tremendously for the next level.
6'4", 318. Do you want to put on any more size to play in the league?
That's up to the nutrition staff and strength coaches. I'm just going in to learn and doing what I'm told in my rookie year. But I'm confident just to go in and do what I do.
You're a big food guy, though.
Big food guy.
What's your favorite food? Do you have a favorite restaurant here in Houston?
I've been in Columbus, Ohio for 4 years, so I have to go back to Whataburger immediately. But other than that, I eat almost anything. Yeah.
What won't you eat?
What won't I eat?
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
Yeah?
It's not a lot. Yeah, I'm not that big of an eater, so.
You'll try,
I'll try it. Within reason. I'm not
I'm
not gonna try like cow eyes or anything like that. But,
what about we'll go Japanese urchin or all the strange sushis that you could get?
I love sushi, but I'm not eating urchins.
Not eating urchins?
I'm not eating urchins.
Or I think the strangest one I've had, jellyfish. Do you eat a jellyfish something?
I probably wouldn't eat that either.
All right.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. There are some things I won't eat urchin or jellyfish.
Yeah. What are your workouts been like these past couple weeks as you're getting ready to get picked?
Yeah, I would say between all these visits that you go on, these top 30 visits, you always have to find time to keep yourself in shape because when you're drafted, you go right into rookie OTAs or rookie minicamp, I forgot which one. But you go right into working out for your team, and you don't want to come in out of shape. So the constant message I've heard from all these teams I go to is wherever you go, make sure you're in shape. So just trying to keep my cardio up, make sure my strength is there. So when I go in, wherever I go, I can hit the ground running and keep contribute to the team.
Draft day, family, party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Are you a crier?
Nah, I probably won't cry.
You don't think so?
I probably won't cry.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to feel in that moment when you get the call and you got a GM on the other line going, "Hey, Donovan, we're taking you"?
I would say it'll be a surreal moment and kind of relief because this is what you dreamed of for so long. But at the end of the day, it's more you gotta get hungrier because you go from the top of the totem pole in college all the way back to the bottom again. You gotta prove yourself all over again, and I'm excited for that. Going into a new room, showing them who I am as a person, but more importantly as a player.
What offensive lineman in the league do you look up to and do you compare yourself to?
I look up to a lot of offensive linemen in the league. I've been coming from Ohio State, the pleasure of playing with some of them. So Paris Johnson Jr., I played next to him for a year. He's a great friend of mine. I'll say lineman I looked up to in the league. I'll go. You gotta go with the guys who are playing at a very high level, like Zach Martin and Robert Hine. All those guys, and Chris Lindstrom, who are playing the game at a very high level, a very effective level. So I look at their game and I see what they're doing on the field, and it's really cool.
What about comparison to you? You can play guard, you can play tackle. Is there a guy that kind of looks like what you do?
I'm sure there are, but everyone's unique in their own way. Like when I watch film, I might take away certain aspects from certain guys. Like, okay, how does this guy use his hand on this block, or how does this guy use his feet on this type of set? So everyone's unique in their own way.
All right.
It's a blessing to be a part of it, but it's a lot more than people realize. Outside looking in, you think it's just combine, pro day, and you drafted. No, you're talking to teams 24/7 up to that point. They got to figure out who you are, if you can take in knowledge, if you can verbalize it back. And it's a huge investment that people are putting into you. So it's a blessing and process to be a part of. I'm really just talking football and talking about myself, which I can do pretty well.
You wanted to be an NFL player since how old?
6.
when you were 6 years old, what was it that made you have that as a dream?
As a dream, I remember, sitting with my dad as we watched football on Saturdays and Sundays, and I saw how much the game brought joy to him, and how much he appreciated it, and how much he enjoyed it. So when I started to play it, I was like, man, I really love this game. And I was like, why not keep playing this to the point where I can make a living off of it? So that's where the dream came from. But it came with a lot of hard work, a lot of mentors, a lot of people that helped me along the way. I didn't do it by myself. It's a saying that it takes a village to raise somebody. But it's a cool experience and a blessing to be a part of.
So do you remember the first time you're 6 years old to tell mom and dad or teachers, like, I want to be an NFL player?
Yeah. In elementary, they always have, what you want to be when you grow up. And I always said NFL player. And my mom, who worked at my elementary school, my teacher went to her like, hey, like, your son says he wants to be an NFL player. And my mom was like, well, if that's what he says he's going to do, that's what he's going to do. And so I've had an amazing support system with my parents. It was never the word no. It was always no. You better try your best because we're paying for it. But they always supported me and supported my dreams and what I wanted to do.
So you've had plenty of accolades.